What's up, everybody? Mr. Second Passport. Today we're going to see a deal uh, that I found just a week or two ago in the good part of Crucita. Now, there's a place there's an area in Crucita where I would invest, and most of the rest of Crucita where I would not invest. And I'll explain that to you today as we take a closer look at the town of Crucita here on the central Ecuadorian coast. So let's take a quick look at this. Crucita is just north of Manta here, right smack dab in the center of the Ecuador coast. But one nice thing about it is this whole beachhead from about just south of Manta here, um, all the way through Manta and until about the beaches just north of Crucita, like San Jacinto and San Clemente. This whole beachhead here, very sunny for whatever reason, has a really nice microclimate compared to the rest of the coast of Ecuador for the most part, where about 6, 7, 8 months a year it's pretty overcast most of the time. But here, like in Crucita, you can count on a good amount of sun. There's definitely good and bad places to buy in Crucita. Um, I would buy here in this southern part of Crucita. There's this main road that comes into Crucita, and then it feeds down into the Malecon or the boardwalk area. As we're about to see, the boardwalk has been built up for decades now, and it's kind of a party zone for local Ecuadorians, and it's been that way for several decades actually. So the noise is a factor, and the beach, for whatever reason, right here, bam, that direct those waves pound the beach, and the beach is actually quite steep and often not very good for swimming. But if you just go a little bit south of the town here, there's a newer area where a lot of foreigners have bought in, and it's a lot quieter off the boardwalk, and this is where I would consider investing, and this is where I found the deal that I'm going to explain today. So this is a look from the southern part of Crucita, right, where I would recommend buying before you get to the boardwalk area. Um, and you can just see it's just a lot more virgin. It's a lot more tranquil and nice. And other foreigners have already recognized that and bought in, upping the value, um, as you can imagine. Here's some newer constructions here in this area that I'm talking about, primarily foreign owned. Here's another look at a few of the vacant lots available and the beach that you have right in front. It's a beautiful blue ocean beach right in front of you with that bluebird sky that you'll often get in on this beachhead, right? This is a look from a house that I helped a nice Canadian guy buy about 6, 7, 8 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. They actually sat on my couch and negotiated it at my old hotel in Guayaquil. And the Canadian's requirements was he wanted a house right on the beach with palm trees. It was a few years back now, but I believe he spent about 65 grand on that is what we negotiated. They were asking a little bit more, but that's what we got. To give you an idea, right? Of because it's hard to get real property values that people actually spent because it's just not publicly listed pretty much anywhere. The real values that people spend. A lot of people fib or lie on what they spent in Ecuador in order to pay less in taxes. This is a quick look at the Malecon or the boardwalk area where I told you, from the center and north of town, it's just not very nice. The beach isn't very nice. A lot of people, a lot of noise, a lot of, discos and bars and stuff. Even in COVID times, you'd be surprised. It's not moving as much, but it's definitely still there. And it has a lot of good little eateries, which is nice. A lot of places to eat if you're looking. And some foreigners have bought in just behind this boardwalk area, but I would suggest against it. I know one nice guy, I believe he was from Kentucky, and he bought in, and then he and his wife decided to sell and leave, and it took them forever. I don't know if they ever sold it, but it took them forever to sell. Off the boardwalk, there's a bunch of other blocks here, and it's just flat, and then the mountains come up behind it. And so you're kind of surrounded by kind of shacky looking things, constructions, and And a lot of foreigners don't want that. Others do, but it's if you do buy in, it's and build something kind of nicer, you may be a target for break-ins. And besides for that, it might be kind of hard to sell it because a lot of foreigners don't want to be there. And just 1 or 2 blocks off the ocean here, let me tell you, it is super hot because you don't get that that onshore breeze that you get when you're right on the ocean. So I would suggest against like buying some. You can get something super cheap back here, sure, but I would recommend against it for resaleability. I mean, to sum up, I would buy anything here just south of where the boardwalk starts. And this is where people actually do paragliding, one of the few beaches that has enough wind where people can actually, do some of this. It's called parapente in Espanol. So this is the lot. It's right here in this area south of the boardwalk, where the boardwalk starts, where I recommend buying. Uh, it's 280 square meters, asking $23,000. Probably a little bit negotiable on that. If you get them down a little bit, that'd be even better. But it's big. It's a big enough lot just to build a decent sized, maybe 2-story house and have a small yard. And there's not many neighbors nearby, right? There's a road here and a road next to you. So you're pretty much guaranteed to have, you're not right on the ocean, but you're uplifted a little. You got a little bit of altitude, a little elevation there from the ocean, and you're pretty much guaranteed to have that gorgeous ocean view from most of your house. There is a lot or two in front that is not built up. It may get built up at some point, but uh, that they don't look for sale right now, and it definitely looks like something where because you have that road in front of your lot here, you definitely are going to be able to see that ocean even if the lot right in front of you does get built on. So that's why I really like that's why I really like the this lot. It's right near that nice Canadian fellow that I helped buy a few years back. And there's just not much available in this part of Crucita, and there's not much left, right? You can pretty much drive all the way till the end of the road, and it's almost built up all the way till the very end of the road, with primarily foreigners who have built and bought in. So definitely, if you're looking for capital gains, this is an area that I would consider purchasing for sure. I like the price here, 23K, because it means you could build something small and nice and still get your $50,000, $60,000 beach house, which is what most people look for when they move to Ecuador. I'm Mr. Second Passport. Don't forget to subscribe below and ring the bell if you liked this vid and would like more just like it. Take care.